Today, you guys, I am very excited to chat about something that I've talked about with one of my friends recently, and we were talking about cheat meals. So I want you to guys picture something. You know those days where you have been eating so clean all week, you are restricting yourself, you feel like you're not cheating anywhere, you're eating super clean, everything whole foods, you are hitting the gym, you're drinking your water, and all of a sudden, boom, weekend comes, right? Weekend hits and it's almost like a free for all on food. How many of you guys feels like that? I've been there, and I think that many of us can relate. And today I want to really dive deep into what that whole cheat meal mindset can actually, or how that can actually sabotage your progress. So to start, let's talk about my own experience with this. I remember back in the day when I used to plan my week around my very well planned cheat meal. It was almost like a reward system for me. And if I could just, power through the week of super healthy, whole foods, clean eating, then the weekend would open the gates to whatever I wanted. Does anyone else feels of experience exactly the same mindset or planning around your weekends? Let me know once you listen to this. If you have this mindset that you've been the super good the whole week and you're just like saving up this cheat just for the Saturday night, but what happens is that there is the thing that comes to this whole mindset around the cheat meal. That one cheat meal often spiraled out of control for me, myself. I would pretty much think, okay, I'll just have one slice of pizza. And before I knew it, I literally finished the whole thing. And the worst part would be that it wasn't just the pizza. It eventually included desserts like chips, brownies, cookies, like literally whatever else my fridge could offer. Like whatever. Like I would eat to the point where I pretty much felt so sick that my stomach would be hurting because I ate so much. And I was binging to the point where I just felt like I have to eat all of this food because I have this mindset of like, well, if I'm not going to eat it now, tomorrow I'm going back to restrictions, right? And what happens is that when you restrict your body or you restrict yourself so much Monday to Friday, then you end up binging over the weekend because after these days of restrictions, your body is particularly screaming for satisfaction. Like your body is so deprived that the moment that you have one spoon of Nutella or peanut butter, you just cannot stop eating it, right? So, and like I said, there is the reason why it's because like you are just in this whole mindset around food that certain foods are bad for you, right? That certain foods are not allowed, are forbidden. And so the whole week you're just thinking about like, I'm going to have that one thing that I wasn't allowed to eat for 5 days. And like I said, you might plan this one cheat meal, but how many of you guys turn the cheat meal into cheat day or weekend, right? And then you literally ruin your whole progress that you made in the week in those 5 days. And let's be real, guys, another worse and awful thing is that when Monday comes around, you feel so shitty. Like I remember myself, I've always felt so heavy full of guilt, regretting how, how how everything got out of control, that I couldn't control myself around the tray of, some, I don't know, treats or appetizers or whatever, where I would be hanging out with my friends, or I would be sitting home by myself, literally binging on tons of food that made me feel so sick afterwards. How many of you can relate to this? So I want to talk about, or I want to unpack that a little bit. There is actually a term for it, and it's called the binge restrict cycle. You've probably heard that. This is not like you've never heard this term, right? Binge restrict cycle. When you spend, like I said, your whole week being super strict with yourself, it will backfire. I'm telling you that because I have been in your shoes for literally pretty much like 12 years. And you're literally, what you're doing is that you're saving up your calories or your cravings for the weekend. And then from one meal, it turns into literally the 2 days. So now, why is it happening? It's because, like I said before, you literally think that this is the last chance that you have to eat this food. And you just can't find yourself satisfied after having just one slice, because it's just not enough, because you haven't allowed yourself to eat this for 5 days, sometimes even longer, my English. And the worst part of this, and this is again, like, I know that some people like cheat meals, like I like cheat meals. Like, I can even tell you how many people like messages me and say, what do you think about cheat meals? And I would say, don't forget about that. Forget about the whole cheat meal thing. Like, this is so bad because it creates such an unhealthy relationship with food. I don't care what anyone says. Again, this is my personal experience, and I just do not think that having cheat meals creates any healthy relationship with food. Absolutely not. When we label foods as good or bad, it sets us up for guilt when we eventually enjoy those foods. And that guilt feeds back into the binges, creating this vicious cycle that just continues. And honestly, I think we are all guilty of thinking, well, I'll just have one brownie. And then next thing you know, we find ourselves at the bottom of the tin with crumbs left, right? And friends, trust me, I've been there for so many times. I'm not like here trying to preach you or just be super smart, but I promise you that I've been there for so many years. Now, let's address something important. The binge restrict mindset isn't just about the weekends. It's really about how we view and relate to food throughout the week. I often found myself literally saving up calories during the week, thinking, oh, I'll just eat less so I can enjoy my weekend. But in reality, I was setting myself up for such a huge failure. Like, the more I restricted myself, the more I craved all the forbidden foods. And I remember that I would even like go to my fitness pal and I would like purposely set my calories so low. Like, I would literally just put like 1,200 calories and then I would be like, well, I'm gonna follow these 1,200 calories for as long as I can. And then like on the weekend, maybe I'm just gonna have like a little treat here and there, and then next thing you know, again, like it was just completely got out of control. And the thing is that I felt so deprived all the time. You guys, I couldn't even have certain things in my food, in my fridge or like pantry. Like, I couldn't even, for the longest time, I couldn't even have like a peanut butter in my house, because the moment I would open the peanut butter and I would have like one spoon, I would literally eat half of the jar, easy. And then don't even ask me how sick I felt after. Like, it was just awful. So this is literally how I felt for so many years, like literally 12 years of my life. And the deprivation only led me to feel always exhausted, always irritated, always feel like how the hell other girls can eat this much and I cannot eat, all the foods that I love. I kept comparing myself to others. I would try to figure out like what this influencer eats so I can eat the same, and trust me, it doesn't work like that. But anyway, like I just felt so deprived all the time. And eventually when I binged on foods that I called forbidden or bad, I would just deal with so much shame and guilt that was not even funny. And like the truth is, you guys have to realize that you cannot just stop yourself from wanting something you love. Like, come on, like craving or over cravings are normal. Like, and when you deprive yourself, you're gonna have more cravings because your body is telling you that it's lacking nutrients, it's missing something. And more you deprive yourself, more you will be craving that thing. And like for the longest time, I couldn't picture myself. Actually, I remember I had this friend, and I came to her house and she opened the cover in the kitchen, and I see like so much like potato chips and gummies and like all these treats. And I remember, and she knew my like history with my eating disorder. So I look at her, I was like, hey, I actually can really have, like that time I actually still was dealing with eating disorder. Like I was like, I can't actually really even have these foods in my house because I just can't control myself. And she was like, what? Like she kind of understood because her background, like she also dealt with something similar to me. So she was like, yeah, you'll be able to overcome that one day. And I was like, there is no way. Like I just can't really see myself to be okay to just open the bag of chips and have a few. Like I just can't see myself doing that, right? But the thing is that once you allow yourself to eat more of these things, all of a sudden your brain switches to completely different mindset. Now all of a sudden you know that the food is always there, it's not going anywhere, you can have it. But the one thing I will say, and is very important, is that you have to make sure that you are eating 80% of the time of your day whole foods, right? Because all like if you're gonna wake up and the first thing that you have is a donut full of sugar, you're going to crave more donut right after, like you are going to. But if you're gonna start your day with full balanced meal with higher in protein, fiber, carbs, healthy fats, you're gonna feel satisfied for several hours. Then you're gonna have lunch, again, balanced meal. And then typically after lunch for myself, I'm like, I crave something else. So I just go and I eat whatever I crave, and I don't feel bad about that. So like I said, more you allow yourself to eat all these foods in moderation throughout the week, throughout the day, you're gonna find yourself in such a better like mindset and peace with yourself. You're not going to beat yourself up. And the thing is that you really need to shift your mindset. And I know it's going to take a while, and like the initial transition, you're gonna probably feel like the first day when you allow yourself to have the chocolate, you might end up eating a little bit more than you think you should, and that's okay, right? Like allow yourself to eat more. Like don't put strict rules on I only can have one piece, and then the moment you're reaching for a second piece or third piece, like allow yourself. And then when you eat it, just think, okay, I'm feeling good. Okay, maybe I had more than I thought that I would end up eating, but it doesn't make me feel any type of way. I don't feel guilty. I'm not ashamed. You have to tell yourself that you want to celebrate the win, that you are actually allowing yourself to eat this food without feeling guilty. And that's the first step, right? Whether you ate a little bit more than you wanted to, that's okay, because next time it happens, you're gonna be more aware and you're gonna be already thinking like, hey, I can actually have this whenever I want. as long as you had a good balanced meal before. Because like I said, like if you guys gonna eat donut first thing in the morning, like myself, like if I would have donut first thing in the morning, I am going to crave more donuts throughout the day. So that's why I would never eat donut first thing in the morning. Like, no, I rather just not have breakfast and wait until I can actually get a high protein, high fiber meal. That's just kind of like how I am right now. Um, so, like the whole solution with this whole stupid cheat meal thing, it's just simple. Like that, there's no, like, I mean, simple for me who overcame this. So yes, I do understand that it's probably like you might be listening as like, okay, Martina, simple for you because you already got out of the cycle, but you just need to ditch the cheat meal mindset. Like instead of, thinking extremes, focus on moderation, right? Like I said, if you're craving pizza, have a slice during the week. Want a chocolate bar, enjoy a piece after dinner instead of saving it up for Saturday. And if you're gonna start doing that, and incorporating these favorite treats into your week, you're not going to feel deprived, and you're going to find yourself that, or you're going to find that it's way easier to stick to your nutrition plan. And again, like, don't like cut your calories like extremely low Monday through Friday, because even if you're gonna cut them super low and then you're gonna allow yourself to have the chocolate, you're going to fail. Like, you have to be like, if your goal is to lose weight, you have to be in a moderate deficit. You can be like, if your maintenance calories are 2,500, you can be eating 1,200 calories. That's just not sustainable. That is extreme. And yeah, and it's pretty much, guys, what I wanted to say. Like, it's very it's a long journey, especially if you've been in this mindset of like, eat less if you want to lose weight, and all you've always heard is that cut your calories, stay away from carbs that make you fat. Like, if you've been into this mindset, like most women and men also, then it's going to be very hard for you to overcome this, because it takes a lot of courage and it takes a lot of mindset shift, because it's also like very hard, especially like for our clients who join our program, when we have to walk them through a reverse diet first. Like, we can't literally like just jump in and just be like, well, like, you're ready for fat loss. Most of our clients are actually not even ready for fat loss phase when they join our program. It's very hard to work on their mindset and teaching them that they actually have to eat a little bit more in order to lose weight, and that's probably like the hardest part. But yeah, focus on balance rather than extremes. You are more likely to develop a healthy relationship with food. Forget about the cheat meal word, and forget about good versus bad. Remember, you guys, there is no bad food, okay? All food is good. So I hope that you enjoyed this episode, and I'm excited to chat with you next time, guys. Bye.